Well, I was born in 1931, so I can remember when the war started. It's about 1939. I was only young then. I can remember my brother joining up when the war started, and he was only 21. I can remember my father joining the civil defence. It was called Air Raid. It was a first aid post, so he was in the ambulances and that. They commandeered a school, and my sister was on civil defence, and they had buckets of sand and stirrup pumps to put out the incendiary bombs and things.
I was 6 years old when the war started, and I can remember sitting in the dining room at home with my father and parents, and we all listened to those words, "We are now at war." The most vivid memory of the war was when I stood in the front bedroom, and from the bedroom where I lived you could see Liverpool burning.
I felt most afraid when we heard the bombs dropping because they seemed so near. You'd think it was in the next street. The noise was so bad, and it was scary, really scary.
I was 13 when the war started, so by the time I was leaving school, I was working in an office, so I went to help with the Home Guard. Well, my father was in the First World War, and then my brother was in the army, and then my husband-to-be, he was in the Navy. Well, on VE Day, everybody was, thought it was great, and I mean, everybody was happy. I mean, I wasn't as happy perhaps as I would have been, because my husband was on the King George round Japan. So, we didn't know what was happening there.
Well, I had two sisters and a brother. One sister was in the Land Army. The other one went in the ATS. My brother was in the army out in Burma. And my father was an ARP warden. So there's only me and my mum most of the time. Oh yes, on the corner of Stretton Drive, just round the corner from me. It literally brought it right down to the floor, and I was sat by the fire, just had my hair washed. My sister had gone upstairs sulking because I was sat by the fire, and when the bomb dropped, it shattered everybody's windows in the road. My sister jumped from the top step of the stairs, and my dad caught her, and I bounced from one side of the room to the other, and then left it with both legs crippled with St. Vitus stance. So I had irons on my legs for the rest of the war.
I remember a lot about rationing because my grandmother had a grocer's shop. My mother used to ride to the grocer's shop and do all the clerical work, and she used to bring home the points, and we used to sit at home and count the points which had to be sent into the food office. So we used to do a lot like that, and a lot of work for the shop.
Well, yes, with having the grocers, it was hard work, that, because, making sure that everybody got their share, it made working in the shop hard, because I used to help, because when we did deliveries, but it made it hard because, you couldn't get the things to sell.
All this picking and packing calls for a lot of extra labour. Some of it is provided by gangs of local women, some by the land clubs, some by colleges and schools, and some by the Women's Land Army.
Well, during an air raid, you had to go into a shelter at the schools. I think everybody took a while to get used to having the gas mask and what to do, but once you'd done it a few times, it became just something you did. Yeah.
My sister and I used to go underneath the stairs, sleep underneath the stairs, and my mother went underneath the table. We had a big square table and she used to shelter under that. There was a shelter in the street, but not many people used it.
Yes, we all had a gas mask, and wherever you went, the gas mask went. And when you tried them on, I had to put them on. It was horrible, you know, but essential, I suppose.
Oh, it was strange. The smell of it was bad, and it was like it had a long snout on it, and if you breathed in, it made this weird noise. It was funny sensation, and you had to practice putting them on and taking them off. And we always had to carry it in a square cardboard box, but my mother made us a little satchel to put them in because they looked neater than these boxes. So we always carried it with us wherever we went.
I think I always wanted to put the gas mask on. We used to kind of practice at school, you see, so that we were ready to put the gas mask on.
When I put on the gas mask, it made me feel very closed in, claustrophobic. Not nice at all.
I think we felt marvellous on VE Day because we all had red, white and blue ribbons for our hair, and we went down to Birmingham to an uncle's for the celebrations there, and there was big street parties and everything.
Oh, it was exciting. It was nice hearing the church bells ringing that hadn't been ringing all this time, and people pipping their car horns and that. Yeah, it was exciting.